Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask a Peer Coffee Chat. Today, I have with me Pragya Mathur, who's been at the Star Career Center for a while. I am Gauri Khanna, and I'm a new peer. I am majoring in finance, and I'm a junior at Brook. Pragya, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hi, Gauri. Thank you for having me on this virtual coffee chat. My name is Pragya. I'm a junior majoring in finance. There are a lot of things I'm involved in on campus, but my most favorite is being a peer for career at Star Career Development Center. I'm also at the Welcome Center, and I also work at the residence halls as a resident assistant.
So, Pragya, how have you taken this transition from physical format to the virtual format? How has your experience changed as a peer?
Well, I think it's been pretty smooth. I was pleasantly surprised at how well, not just the Star Center, but the entire school took it. They took time to train the professors, they took time to train faculty. But I think, especially for Star, they were still continuing with all their resources all summer. They transitioned so quick. With taking Zoom calls, Zoom appointments, and still being there for all the students because recruiting season was starting, and Star takes all of this really seriously. Working as a peer, it was also kind of very different for me, but then we also had our regular trainings where we were told to do it in a certain way, being more accommodating of time, and just helping students as best as we can.
So my experience as a new peer was a very different from yours since you have been in the office at Star. So when I started virtually. So now I feel like it will be hard for me to transition into the office job. So that's I guess the difference between our experiences.
Yeah, of course, in person is the best, but I feel like we're doing as well as a good job virtually also.
Yeah, I think we're doing extremely great. Like I've been a part of a few events and I think we have everything managed, which is all that matters at this time to keep everyone connected, even if we are miles apart. So let's move on to the lightning round that we have. So in
Ooh.
this round, yes, you and I can ask each other random questions and we will only have 10 seconds to answer this question. So I'll start just so that you have an example. So, which do you think is the best place to shop for professional work clothes?
Well, my personal favorite where my go to place is Zara. They have like a really good collection of formal clothes for women. They have nice dress shirts, nothing too fancy or, very flashy, just the right amount for me. So that's my go to for professional clothing. Okay, what is your career or school advice that you would like to share?
I would say get your resume reviewed because before I came to Brook, I did not know how to make a resume. And after entering Star as a regular student, I think I learned so much. And then after becoming a peer, I learned even more. So getting your resume reviewed is one advice I would give to every student.
I could not agree more.
Mhm. Okay. So for my turn, I would ask you, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned about yourself?
So, the biggest lesson I've learned about myself in my professional career or the training I received would be networking. It is so important to network, to know the right people, to get a mentor. And you get a mentor through networking, learning from all these different experiences people have had. And that has really helped me discover what I eventually want to do, in my life as a career and where I want to be. So, my question for you would be, what are your career goals?
My career goals are extremely scattered, as would be for a lot of students at Brook. I am interested in investment banking, but I'm also interested in a creative side of business, which is why next year I have decided to intern with JP Morgan and intern as a Chase Wealth Management intern in a rotational program, which allows me to experience different kind of things. So I guess it's okay to have different interests as long as you're willing to explore and learn. Okay, my question for you would be, what has been the proudest moment in your life till now?
Oh, well, I'm happy to say that there have been many, but the most recent proudest moment in my life has been in my Baruch experience, and it's been securing an internship for my junior year where I want to be, where I want to work. The position is an investment banking summer analyst, at a bank, Mizuho Securities, and STAR has been so helpful with that, with mock interviews, training me on how to present myself at companies in front of recruiters and all of that. So I do owe a lot to STAR and Baruch.
Good answer. Good answer. I think I'm really proud of you. Okay. Okay, so we have
So
time for
my
one more question, and I'll let you take it.
Okay, so my question would for you would be, what would you suggest one resource at STAR which every student should utilize before they graduate?
I cannot stress this enough, but definitely get your resume reviewed, which is one. But this other resource that I want to bring forward are the mock interviews. We all can have a great resume. We can all look at samples. You can look at the Baruch resume guide and create a good resume for yourself. But to be able to communicate with your interviewer after you secured that interview is really important. And utilizing the mock interview services at STAR is one way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, as much practice as you can get, the better.
Now it is a randomizer round
Oh my
in
god.
which we will be
Okay.
spinning a wheel, and wherever the wheel stops, you have to quickly tell me about that one resource at Star.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let me start it.
Okay. Info sessions and corporate networking sessions, my favorite resource at STAR. As I mentioned earlier, networking has been a big part in my professional training journey and all of that. So I think info sessions and corporate networking sessions are such an important part and such a great resource that STAR offers, because this is where I personally met a lot of recruiters, and I tried to build a reputation with them, a rapport with them, and I tried to establish a connection. Even though I went to these sessions as a freshman and as a sophomore, I did get a chance to learn more about the company, which helped me ultimately discover what I want to do and if this is the company I see myself working at. But it was very beneficial for me because in so many of my interviews, the people I met at info sessions were the ones taking my interviews. So even before meeting them for the first time in the interview, they already knew me, and then we all just started off a great conversation. And it's been really great with the info sessions because it's a great opportunity to network, expand your network, and just adding your connections.
I think that's so true. Networking is one thing that everyone should do. I know a lot of people who feel like they're introverts, refrain from networking, but this is something that allows you to build your communication skills and put yourself out there for people to see who you are, what your skills are. And this is a great
Exactly.
way to secure a job, and I'm very proud of you again. Okay,
Thank you.
let's spin the randomizer again and see what I get. Okay, okay, the resume reviews, which is literally my favorite part, as you guys can see. So, resume reviews are a resource at Start, which I think are the most commonly used because people are coming in every day to have their resume reviews. And I think they're so important because even little things in your resume can make a lot of difference. A typo that you might not notice, a category that you should have but you don't, anything ranging from your most important experiences to your volunteer experiences to anything that you do in your life. Your resume is what reflects who you are. That's a piece of paper that's going to end up securing you an interview with your dream company. So I think resume reviews are that one resource at Star that is literally the best resource. I will always talk about it. If you ever see me in the hallways, I will always talk about resume reviews. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so true because like your resume is your first impression and Star does a great job with it. So I'm super happy with that.
Yes. So thank you for joining me today, Pragya. I hope you had a great time at our coffee chat round. I hope everyone else who is watching this coffee chat today learned something and would definitely walk into Star one day to make use of its resources.
Thank you so much for having me, Gory. And yes, guys, we'd love to have you at Star. We really do enjoy helping you, and Star as a center is a wonderful resource available to all Baruch students.
Thank you. Thank you for coming,
Thank
Pragya.
you.
Bye.
Let's connect. Find us at Baruch SCDC.